First question, short introduction of yourself. Also talk about your current role and your current employer's name. Yeah, thank you very much for having me here today. My name is Ifine Kingsley Quentua. I'm from Nigeria, Delta State. I had my first degree in computer science due to my love for technology growing up as a young child. Then immediately after I finished my first degree, I got a job with fintech automation in Port Harcourt, Nigeria. Then I worked for 2 years. After working for 2 years, due to my love for education, then I resigned and came to the United Kingdom in 2022, where I did my master's in IT management at Alam University. Yeah, in terms of my current role, I'm a first line support engineer at Open Network Service Limited, Sheffield. How Fortray has marketed your profile and helped you get interviews? What helped you clear the way interviews? First of all, how Fortray helped me was that I studied the you teach videos of all sections a lot. That was the first thing I did. Then I prepared my CV. I did my CV because I had this mindset that I need to get a job within 3 months. From January to March, before my birthday in March, I told myself I'm definitely going to get a job. I was preparing for interviews, submitting different applications. I got some setback from recruiters because most of the recruiters keep telling me different stories. One of the stories that touched me most was when a recruiter told me that my school was not among the first 10 universities in the United Kingdom, that my CV cannot be sent to clients. Some recruiter told me that I can't have sponsorship, that most company cannot sponsor me after a particular period of time. So I never gave up, to be honest with you. I kept applying for jobs on LinkedIn, on Total, on Indeed, on every on I've just kept applying for jobs on every website I saw, with this mindset I was definitely going to get a job as soon as possible. I never gave up. When I had this inspiration from a friend of mine, Francis Obilo, who got a job. I had this mindset, I was like, if Francis could get a job so quick, I can also get a job so quick. I was also following the YouTube videos, engaging my teachers a lot. I kept engaging with them, asking them questions, disturbing them a lot of times without giving up. Then I was lucky to have my first interview in January. After I had my first interview, I struggled because that was my first real interview. I struggled. I got some questions right. I also struggled with some questions, but I now knew I was not going to get the job after my first interview. So what I did was that I went back home. I wrote the questions the recruiter asked me that day. I wrote it down on my notes. Then I kept applying for other jobs. Kept applying. I was not getting callback. I was not getting feedback from recruiters and others. I kept saying unfortunately, but I never gave up. Then I had my second interview in Sheffield. When I had my second interview in Sheffield, I was like, okay, this will be the second interview. Okay. I went for the second interview prepared. After the second interview, I got some questions right. I also found myself struggling with some questions that I was asked. And I said to myself, okay, no problem. I got back home, I wrote the questions down. Then I had to study everything, the materials that Fortray provided for us on UTeach. I studied everything. Because remember then when our teacher would we keep telling us something, go beyond what Fortray is teaching you. I try to go beyond it, go online, make research. I kept that word Mr. Mohammed said that day. I never gave up. I kept applying and applying. Unfortunately, of over 1,000 jobs application that it was unfortunately, but I never gave up. Then I applied for the third interview. I now went for the third interview because most of the time I keep applying for jobs to the point I don't even know where I applied for jobs again because I could not like trace it or monitor it again. So I got the third interview. I got when they called me, like, are you ready for the third interview? And I said, yes, I'm ready for the third interview. Then I was preparing for my pre recruitment session with my teacher. Then I called Fortray that Monday that please. I called the customer care that Monday morning. I said, please, I have an interview on Wednesday morning. Please, can I shift my interview section with my teacher for Thursday? Let me go for my third interview. Then after my third interview, then I will have my pre-recruitment stage with him the next day. She now said, okay, she now rescheduled my interview. Then I prepared myself after the first interview I did, which I struggled with some questions, which I wrote down. and also with the second interview which I did, which I wrote down. Then after preparing for both of them, I had to go for my third interview. When I go for my third interview, I was like, God, I have to get this job this time around. After my first interview, to get without getting the second interview without getting, I can't be not be going for interview without getting a job. Then I went for the third interview that day after introduction of myself and all that. They keep asking me different questions. I was getting confident as they were asking me questions. I was able to answer every 85% of the questions they asked me without any obstacle and all that. At the end of the day, the recruiter was very convinced with what I said and everything. They now told one of the colleagues, okay, let them take me around the company vicinity. Then I now told myself in 5 seconds that wow, probably I have gotten this job already. Then when I was going home, less than 10 minutes when I left home, when I left the company, I got a call from the one of the recruiters there that Kingsley, congratulations, you have gotten the job. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you very, very, very much. I was so excited. That was what really helped me. The YouTube videos from Fortray really helped me a lot. I have to be honest with you. And I studied online because my teacher asked me to told us to study online. We should not depend on only the resources on we should not only depend on the resources that Fortray provided for us, which I kept. Then the next day I was having my pre-recruitment session with my teacher. Then I told Mr. Sultan that wow, I've gotten a job already. We're like, I said, yeah, I had my pre-recruitment session with you today, but I had an interview yesterday which I spoke with the support team, which they scheduled my interview for me on Thursday, but I've gotten my job already. Wow, this is really, really crazy. This is really crazy. Yeah, your hard work really paid off and all that. And I was so excited I got the job. And after I got the job, I was to start on Monday, immediately on the 26th of February. Then I now sent my offer letter to my teacher, Mr. Sultan, then which he now saw on my wife. He was so very, very happy. So Fortray really helped me through the what? Through the YouTube video I listened to, through the YouTube, through the YouTube through the YouTube videos of this or previous sections of which I engaged in during my leisure time. Yeah. Share your challenge and how Fortray helped you overcome them. Yeah, the challenge I had was when I was preparing for my exam, my office my my Microsoft exam. I was really scared because I wanted to write the exam in the center and I couldn't get a center. And the only option I had was to write it at home. I became very scared. Then I had to call the support team that please, I'm really scared. I really want to write this exam in the center, but I can't get any place where I could write it. The only option I had was to write it at home. So I had the section with Mr. Sultan Ahmed, and which we spoke, and he checked my internet at home and said it was really, really fine, that I should not get scared of the exam, that I was definitely going to pass, that is sure I was definitely going to pass the exam. Then I wrote the exam and I really skated through. That was the challenge I had. Yeah. Apart from that, I never had any challenge. The lives the I never had any challenge, to be honest with you. It was really, really amazing all through. I love the life, I love everything. To be honest, I never had any challenge because I could really reach the customer care at any time, any point in time. I think I could really say I call them, sometimes I call them more than 5 times a day. Sometimes I feel bad calling them, asking them different questions and all that, but it really, really paid off. And they were like, Kingsley, don't worry, keep calling. If there's anything that you have any issues, keep calling us. We are there for you. It was really, really an amazing time. And I never had a challenge because I had this mindset that I was going to get a job because what of the inspiration I got from fellow Nigerians, from Francis and Obilo, who got a job and all that. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get a job also. Probably there was no challenge. I think I never had any challenge throughout my stay, throughout everything. Would you recommend Fortray services to others? Yes, I would definitely go to recommend Fortray services to others because I passed through Fortray and I got a job. Actually, I've even told my friends about it already, and very soon, maybe in the next couple of weeks, they'll be subscribing with Fortray.